Welcome back to Environmental Station Alpha. In the last episode, we kind of went running around for a bit, pretty close to the end, but we're nearly full on those diskettes that we've been looking around for. As we saw in that room from last time, we are just too short of a full set of diskettes. There's a couple of areas that we've yet to search. One of them is, I believe, the area in the security area, and the other being in the cave complex, which is under some water, which we skipped out in the previous episode. So let's go do that now. There's just one last area to take a look at after all this is done, so let's get going. We'll just head on this way. And you could have actually gotten this diskette a little bit earlier than the current time. Just go down here and make your way to the right. There's this funny looking block in the top right area, which you can break, open and get into. Now the thing about the security robot that we destroyed a while ago was holding all the security things. The security gates closed, so now most of them are open. There's only one exception to that, I believe. Well, that looks funny. It looks like a key of some sort. Well, we can't get to it from this side. So we'll just have to keep on going. So now that we've got that particular diskette, we have to head back up. Not that there's any particular way to do it, just run around doing things. Of course, that smasher has to be triggered first, before you can get past it. And we can head back to the teleporter, the way we came. And there's still a couple of other things that I haven't shown off just yet, but we'll get to those in after this episode is done. Gotta take a save first. Now to get to this particular area, we have to head right back over just after the area where we got the very first power-up, the jump booster. Just over to the left. I could have gotten it a bit earlier, but having the supercharge module makes this a whole lot easier to do. If only for the fact that there's a whole bunch of jellyfish down here that shoot stuff at you. And defeating those opens up a little bit of a maze. There are electrical sparks here that just lurk around and they'll do a bit of damage to you if you run into them, so try not to do that. It's a bit of a trial and error situation here. You kind of have to wander around poking at walls in search of which ones are accessible and which ones aren't. You get this particular one by going through the bottom area, so yeah, need to head to the right first and just in that general area. And with that, the last data diskette, so we can get out of this area and see what's on the other end of that locked off room. Of course, that does mean trying to get out of this maze. It can be particularly tense if you're low on health at that point, but thankfully, you should be trying to take your time. There's no real hurry to get it, so yeah. All that's left is to return to the volcanic sector. And we'll take a look. Of course, might be best to take a save first. I always like doing that. Probably because it's easy. Not much to say about this particular area again. Just a bit of things that do damage. And a fire based. It doesn't matter which way you get to it, as long as you get there. And now that we have everything, all the blocks break away, and now we can take a look at the area beyond. Makes me wonder what in the world this thing is doing all the way back here. Maybe it's caused by the virus or something. Of course, I show off what happens when you get stuck in a wall. You slowly get pushed up and out. And with that, the last power-up, Dash Booster X. You can dash freely, and I demonstrate it as such. You can dash in midair whenever you want. And you basically can stay up in the air forever. Of course, this course is designed to make you take damage, so not really much you can do about that, but there's a save point right here at the exit area. And so we can move on now. Now that we have everything, we can actually go around to the boss and eliminate it once and for all in the AI mainframe. Just gotta get up and into that general area first. This teleporter right by the ship is pretty useful if you've gotten it. Technically you don't need all the items to beat the boss, but I like being thorough. It just helps. Ah, memories of old, but now we can head beyond and into this area. Just break open this bottom right corner over there and hit the switches. Of course you have to watch out for the energy orbs that are floating around everywhere. Not sure why that is the case, but hey, I can't really argue with it. Big giant side hopper. Gotta watch out for those. Thankfully, if you stay just on the left half of it, you can get it stuck in the side, so you can just shoot at it all the time. Over here, you can do a fancy puzzle by jumping through that. But if you got the Dash Booster X, this part is fairly easy. Just gotta dash past all these things, taking as little damage as possible, and you can exit because all those blocks are crumble blocks, so you can just fall through if you feel you're getting too damaged. Anyway, just to show off the intended solution, which is a little bit more difficult, you kind of have to use the horizontal dash boost and a double jump, like that. Hookshot can or may not be optional depending on what you like to do. And we have this guy, the Class A Guardian. That being said, he isn't really much more interesting than the first time we met it, so not really much I can say about it. Of course, up here in the top right corner, we have this switch that leads down into the room that we've probably all seen before. The AI is still staring at us with great attention, and we're back here again. Now the reason we couldn't go back there is because this gate is still trying to open and close. The AI is trying to keep us out, but the security robot that we defeated is trying to override it, but it doesn't really work, so that's why we had to go through that area. And with that, we're in the mainframe. And that is the station AI that we met a few episodes back. Given the current state of the station, I would imagine that destroying it is probably the best thing you could do to it, although in a controlled manner is probably best. Of course, it'll try to kill us. The shell unit is probably a generic term because you'll see it in a bit that it's kind of a shared name between the bosses. Just showing off the attacks here. It sometimes zooms about, it sometimes shoots. That's about it. It will target you and it will cause shockwaves and all that, but nothing that we haven't seen before. Here's the second one. This one is a tracking unit that fires out spirals of things. It sometimes launches the sword attack. The sword attack is pretty dangerous, since it's probably very likely to hit you even with the dash booster X. Even so, that's pretty much all it does, so defeating that isn't particularly difficult either. Fact is that you still have to defeat the third phase of this boss. And of course, because it's the station AI, it can do anything it wants. So this is the last boss, so to speak. First thing you want to do is defeat the hands, because it will shoot stuff, it'll sometimes punch you, or sometimes launch sideways lasers. It will hit the ground to make the shockwaves, and from here on out it's just a matter of hitting the head portion. We're trying to avoid as much damage as possible. If you are really fast, you'd probably be able to defeat it very, very easily, but I'm at 5 health simply because I tried to show it off. Anyway, loud explosions are loud. I'm pretty sure that was fairly obvious. And we seem to have triggered a bit of an explosion. Well, I guess we better get out of here then. Of course we have to escape by our ship. And we fly away. While the ship flies away, the station falls apart. It just starts to slowly crumble apart. And we finally got back into communications range. And so that concludes Environmental Station Alpha. That particular ending is kind of interesting. I mean, downloading data is something, but I'm not really too sure about how that ending played out. Kind of the reason is that the people on the station seem to have known that the virus was there and how it could pose a threat. And I didn't think that their best robot could possibly be infected. Oh well. probably an oversight on their part. But now they're dead. Or probably in a really bad state. There is still much more content after this, so you're gonna have to stay tuned for next time, when we look into the post-game content. But it really isn't, because it's still part of the game. And that is 100%. So until next time, take care.